who is the best girl in Shield Hero? It's not Raphtalia. It's not Filo. She's cute though. It's not cute little Princess Melty. It's not Queen Milf, even though Queen Milf is goddamn fine. It's not Rishia, the girl he kinda had ignored, or Ost Kanashan. It's not the old lady that they even skipped over in the anime, I didn't know what she's about, or the red top that is there a name in the anime? No, of course. It's goddamn Malty the bitch. This is by far the best character in Shield Hero, and while Shield Hero kinda sucks right now, right? So, Shield Hero, I guess. Of course, Isekai going right now, season 2, right? And let's be honest here, I think everyone agrees with me, it's pretty shit, okay? Like, it's not the worst thing ever, okay? I'm being somewhat hyperbolic, right? But seriously, it's not that entertaining, and Tortoise is like really, you know, pointless. I know Book Hero finally got me, right? But what I've been thinking about for Shield Hero, since last season really, is that when, of course, Malty bitch leaves, right, the anime is pretty poor. Like, let's be honest here. I've been thinking about this for a while now, for a few years, right? Season 2 is even more so again then. That without Malty, right, you know, the best, worst girl ever, so to speak, right? Without Malty, the anime is kind of like whatever. It's like, why am I watching this anime for? Why am I watching? It's just one of the middle isekai's anime, right? You know, Raphtalia is cute, Filo is hot and so on, you know what I mean? But it's like, the anime feels kind of dead, right? Like stillbirth after you lose bitch, because, yeah, she's a goddamn bitch, but she's the character that keeps driving the anime. She's the antagonist, and arguably one of the best antagonists ever in anime, and without her, I think the anime is just kinda poor, right? So I have a couple of points I'll go over here, but also, I immediately want to say here, before we get into the points here, is that I feel that it reminds me of something, for example, like Resident Evil 8. She actually really reminds me of Lady D, right? So Lady Dimitrescu is the first antagonist in Resident Evil 8, a game that I quite enjoyed the game. I'm a little below for my actually playing through the game. But basically, Lady D was this super sexy milf friend, Ara Ara bad girl. And yeah, the game is by far the best when you're actually fighting Lady D. And the second dungeon, I spoke too much in the puppet dungeon, the second best dungeon. She did honestly reminds me of Lady D, right? Because it starts out with the best antagonist, and then it just goes downhill. They actually do kind of feel very similar, right? So Lady D, of course, became a real viral hit. And a lot of hentai or whatever was done on her and so on, right? And I feel the same thing with Malty. I have said immediately here that I feel that the author, honestly, probably didn't really expect, you know, Malty to really beat the hit, right? Because, yeah, but she's the best worst girl, and just think about it, like, they defeat her in the middle of just season 1, right? Not exactly middle, but like 66%, whatever, right? And it's just like, oh, it's not even the ending or whatever. And I'm also here saying that the season 1 should have just, like, prolonged or badly paced Malty or whatever. But clearly, the defeat of the bitch should probably have been as a final, right? Or something. If the author actually kind of like, oh, this is the best character or whatever. The final boss or whatever. But that's just kind of in the middle of the season. And that alone to me is kind of strange. It's kind of anticlimactic. Or more so that after you finish, right, the Malty revenge. After that, you kind of like, why do I care at all, really? But also a little bit like, why am I even here now in this like mid-season, right? Yeah. And honestly, this also reminds me a lot of Lady D then. Because again, not spoiling too much of the game here, but this is pretty known, right? She's the first antagonist. So after you beat her castle, the game just gets worse and worse. It really is. And the second dungeon is its best second dungeon. And it really feels like the game isn't terrible, but you kind of feel like the best part is in the beginning, right? And usually you want to make a video game, the best part should be the end, right? So you get more excited. But then you're like, it was really good in the first 5 hours. That was really good, the beginning there, right? Chased by that MILF that wanted to try to kill me. Yeah, that was really nice. And her big ass. And that was really nice. That's kind of how Malty feels. A lot, honestly. But of course, more in like an annoying antagonist way, right? So I want to go over this video here saying why the anime surely needs more. The bitch Malty morally salty, right? And without her, it really feels like the episode seasons it's just so poor in that sense, right? It doesn't feel exciting. It's barely paced and so on too, but it really it lacks the spark, right? You know, arguably, Malty is the best girl ever because she really brings in the anime. Without her, the anime is just kind of plain. I mean, do you want to watch an anime without this? Come on, am I the only one? She's pretty hot. Honestly, I want to say this thing though. I'm gonna be candid, guys. This is not a joke. I also do probably genuinely feel that Malty is the hottest character in Shield Hero. like from a appearance standpoint, I think she is probably the hottest character. Maybe it's like redheads, but I think she is probably the hottest character. Except her mom, though. Yeah, okay. Queen Milf is... Okay, Queen Milf is my number one, and then her daughter, though. Yeah, probably. Seriously, though. I'd probably rather... If we ignore the personalities, I'd probably rather... You know, if Malty was a nice girl, yeah. And maybe I just like the bad girls. Anyway, so let's first talk about the actual... You know, the essential scene where she finally gets her. She's like, Nafoumi sama, no please, right on it. And while this is a great scene, and oh yes, we get into revenge, we're gonna kill the bitch, and so on, right? The thing about this thing is that the main agenda of Nafoumi is to do this thing, right? And you can compare something like One Piece or you know, something like whatever, right? And compare about something like One Piece, right? And the thing is that what's the goal of Luffy in One Piece? Of course, I think One Piece here because it's the most famous anime ever, right? As a Dragon Ball, basically. And the goal of One Piece is like, get the One Piece, you know, get Roger's treasure. He left. And what if Luffy found the One Piece in like chapter 5 or something? That's kind of how the beating feels, right? It's like, it's just too early. I think that alone is really weird here, because yes, she is the main goal. She is Nafumi's One Piece. She is his Hokage. Like, you know, yeah, killing her is the Hokage, right? Or the Wizard King or whatever, yeah. Getting to bitch and, you know, stabbing her in the ass, right? Or getting a shield up her butt or whatever, right? That is his goal, right? His whole goal is either just go home and it's in order to go back to Earth, right? Or at least get revenge on Malty. And of course, by having that revenge so early, and just in the middle of second quarter here, you're like, oh, so he already found Raphtalia, right? Or he already became the king or something. It just feels weird, honestly. From right, but more so though, it just removes the actual goal and the agenda, right? And I did say this though when I did the review and so on of season 1. I was like, but why do I keep watching now? I don't hate Nafoumi. I like Raphtalia, Filo, and so on. They're pretty cool characters. But you're like, why am I keep watching the anime after this thing, right? Because it really is like, now you got the main antagonist. You got the main goal. Again, you found the One Piece. Why do I keep moving it around, right? And I'll spoil One Piece here, right? But at least in One Piece, we haven't got to do One Piece yet. But I'm assuming when we actually get to One Piece, we're gonna have that other Gorosei, whatever, spoil too much here. But we're gonna have the government probably still be an issue and so on. So I don't think One Piece actually will end when we get to One Piece, for that matter. But my point, of course, is that when we get to One Piece, Oda has like really foreshadowed, but it's really planned out, you know, some more the bad guys, right? But in Nafoumi, it's like, you have the waves, and they're so like, you know, the waves are so, they lack personality, right? You said the trees, they lack that personality, that spark and so on. I'm thinking about that too, for that matter. It's also an issue in the end after Malty is defeated. It's also the lack, you know, of the other characters too. So you lack Book Hero, no, sorry, he's coming now. I know Book Hero. I know Book Hero is coming this episode, yeah, whatever, right? But before Book Hero arrived, you're lacking Kirito, you're lacking Douchebag and whatever Bow Hero is supposed to be. But you're lacking these guys too, right? So not only did the anime remove Bitch, right? But it also basically removed Spear Hero. And that's just kind of strange. And, you know, and like what happened to the bad guy, the king as well, right? It basically has no antagonist after Bitch is out. So it's a double issue here. Not only is she the main antagonist, and by far the most entertaining and interesting antagonist, it also removed all the other antagonists, basically, right? And you just let the Queen Milf be like, okay, you redeem, whatever, you do what you want, right? And then it's like, okay, I'm here, and I'm just fighting these like nameless enemies from the wave or something. And I know we're introducing to the other cardinal, the other heroes, you know, Glass or whatever, but they're clearly not real antagonists, you know, they're kind of like a mid-antagonist thing. I don't really care about that, and it's really strange. So that's a double issue, I will say, though. Not only removing Malty as the main antagonist, but also basically removing all the other real antagonists as well. One thing that I keep comparing to what I felt when I'm watching the anime season 1 was that Spear Hero and Malty, right? They are kind of like a Team Rocket, right? They're like Team Rocket, you know, if Jessie had a stick up her ass, right? And, you know, James was, you know, even like a douche or whatever, yeah. They are Team Rocket without, I guess, the spark in the eyes or whatever, right? Yeah, like I said, Jessie will stick up her ass, right? But even though there are douchebags from Team Rocket, That's kind of the version they fill out, right? They kind of come in every episode, do some douchebaggery against, Filo or whatever, and then they fail, right? And without that kind of formula, it really feels like, like it's like watching Pokemon, but Team Rocket are gone. That's season 2 of Shield Hero. What happened to where's Justin James and Meowth? That's how I feel watching Shield Hero. I was like, oh, okay, 10 episodes ago we defeated the Team Rocket and they don't appear again? Like, what is this, right? It is a lot like that. Look at this cute couple, right? But seriously, right? They kept appearing, they kept doing that, oh, we're gonna defeat you in a race or something, right? And they kept, challenging them stupid stuff. And yeah, it was fun, right? And she's just an annoying character. And again, I think removing her so early is a massive issue for the anime because, and honestly, even though of course, who didn't love the episode where she almost gets killed and they call her bitch and stuff like that, and they go, we're gonna use slut or whatever, and all the ad stuff. Of course, a great episode. But actually, in retrospect, I actually don't think it's a very good writing. And I know people are gonna hate saying that too, but honestly, it's not a good writing because just like that, removing her, it's just like, it could be way more interesting if actually Nafoumi was redeemed to some extent by Milf Queen, but he kept having some issues, right? With, of course, but also, bitch being a princess, and a little more interdrama, political drama, whatever. And it would be better, generally speaking, because she would keep appearing, right? Every now and then. I want to point it out, though. I don't think she should appear in every episode of Team Rocket, right? But she should appear every now and then, every third episode, maybe every second episode, every arc, second arc, whatever. But now it's just like, she's just gone. I'm sure she's gonna reappear, once in a while later, right? But it really feels like, what happened, right? It's like 12 episodes, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And it just loses the spark of the anime. And honestly, it would be better written if she actually was still there, not just, because it's kind of cheap, right? Basically, I think the anime kind of jumped the bitch or whatever, it jumped too quickly into going from stabbing her. This scene, of course, Raphtalia gets her, and then immediately the next episode is like, here's mom, we're gonna kill her, get up, put the foot up her ass, and woo, let's go, It just went way too fast, I feel here, right? It went too fast, They stab her, they're gonna execute her, they're gonna or her, whatever, they're like, whatever, let's do it. It just happens way too fast, and this could have been a more, a progression, right? Raphtalia stabs her. Her mother enters, right? Helps out Nafoumi, gives him some land or whatever, but she's still there. She's still a princess, not just trying to ruin his land, right? So she should have been a recurring bad guy, right? Instead of just being immediately like this kind of scene when she's trying to poison them. This could have been a recurring thing all the time, and I keep saying it. Yes, it would be maybe a little too much if it was every episode, right? Like an actual Team Rocket thing. But this actually would make more sense. We will see her trying to ruin them, to this stuff and so on. And one thing that I really feel is missing, right, is that, especially the last season, which I think is really boring, honestly, with the Tortoise thing. Because the Tortoise is a nameless, just a big monster, right? And a nameless big monster thing is never going to be able to do anything except killing the mooks, right? Killing the goons. A big Tortoise thing is only just going to be able to hurt these random soldiers that no one cares about, right? It's much more likely, actually, that bitch would come in, poison Raphtalia, and that would kill her. That's much more likely going to happen, right? Than that Tortoise that shoots laser beams going to kill Raphtalia, or Filo, or whatever. It's never going to happen. Like, never going to happen. Now, I'm not saying that bitch will succeed, of course, but she actually might be able to poison Filo, for example, and then there might be an arc when they have to go and save Filo's life from this poison, right? And that actually might have happened. So I think it's an issue too that by removing Malty, the true best girl, right, you're also removing the tension, you're removing the stakes, because she always felt like the character that actually had a higher chance of succeeding, actually hurting mostly the horror and waifus of Nafoumi, right? But she actually definitely had a higher chance of doing it. Even though, of course, I'm not saying she actually would succeed, but I felt that she actually has a higher chance of doing it, right? At least so far, because after she's gone, it's basically like 10 episodes roughly now, something like that, right? Where you have just nameless waves of, or here's a bat, or here's a big monster, right? Those enemies are never gonna succeed, right? Her trying to backstab them, her trying to plot their death or whatever, right, has a much more chance of happening, higher stakes, and also it's more interesting and it's more personal, right? And one thing I also want to point out here is that one thing that made Bitch a good character too was that she always was not the main. While she's the main antagonist as the personal true hater, she's the One Piece, right, for Nafoumi. She never really came off as so to speak, the true, like, I am controlling the world antagonist. It's my fault that the waves are happening, whatever. And think about it, why she hates Nafoumi and Shield Hero and the church and that stuff, right? It's religion that's behind it. She actually doesn't want people to die, right? I mean, except of course Nafoumi, but I mean, she doesn't actually want her armies to die, you know. She doesn't want her mom to die, you know what I mean? She actually wants the kingdom to survive the waves, so to speak. So why she's an antagonist, and arguably then the main antagonist, she's not the main antagonist in the kind of the world scope of being a hero. Right? She's kind of an annoying bitch on the side, right? And then also again goes back to that, at least that there was no actual point of removing her at all, because she could have stayed as this, like, you know, kind of the foil, right? The constant foil in Nafoumi's face. She could have stayed as that for 100 episodes, right? Because she actually doesn't really hinder him from succeeding with this one. Now that being said, I do agree they shouldn't just milk her forever. I shouldn't milk her nice yags forever. That would have been kind of... I do iterate that I feel that she's probably the hottest character in the anime, so those yags are pretty nice. That being said, right, I come back to these kind of scenes that she's trying to, like, oh, I have this paper and this thing and so on. And this is what I mean, right? It doesn't have to be the strongest person. It doesn't have to be the worst person, right? Kind of is, but my point is that she can just kind of exist as a constant foil. And eventually, again, she shouldn't just stay for 1,000 episodes. But I think she should stay for a way longer time, right? Because honestly, like I said from the beginning here, I do feel that Shield Hero Season 2 and even just, again, I mean the end, honestly, right? The last 5 episodes of Season 1, it is not that good. It's not the worst anime ever. There are way worse isekai animes. But I certainly sit in there every episode, in my opinion, being like, this is fine. Raphtalia and Filo, they're pretty cute. But I'm just like, where's the drama? Where's the tension? Remember how Raphtalia really wanted to kill this woman, right, over and over again, you know? Remember when Shield Hero, Nafoumi was standing on that Colosseum thing, and he's like, oh, I got my rage thing. And she's like, oh, kill that, he touched me, booby, you know? And like, that shit is all gone, right? That's all the actual good shit of this anime, where you actually care. So, yeah, she was the One Piece, she was the king, she was the Hokage, whatever. She was the goal of the main character. And getting you go so quickly just kind of ruins it, right? But I honestly, what do you guys think? I really do feel that she reminds me a lot of Lady D, from the kind of the meta knowledge of, man, this woman exploded, she got viral, she was the big hit of the beginning of the anime, but then if you said the author never, you know, saw her as, oh, she's gonna be the important character, whatever, I throw her away after the first arc, you know. Kind of, yeah, Lady D is like, whatever, the first boss that's just gone, then whatever, yeah, and it's like, what happened to the interesting character? Honestly, I thought that was a evil in another video. But I really felt that, yeah, you have Mother Miranda too, and yeah, Lady D could have been the last boss instead of Mother Miranda. That would be much better, honestly. She could have stayed longer, right? And also the kind of, there's another video, but yeah, I was very disappointed in how Mother Miranda wasn't the real mom of it. Whatever, I was spoiled here, but it was very disappointing, honestly. I felt they could have done it better. But again, I think it's a very similar feeling where if it's the author is like, I have this really good, you know, first bad girl, right? And then, yeah, but you gotta kind of keep saying it. Imagine more like Spider-Man or whatever, right? Spider-Man, that was wrong. Imagine more like Spider-Man, right? And they kill off Green Goblin and he never returns or whatever, right? Norman Osborn, spoilers. But yeah, like, something like that, like the classic rogue gallery of Spider-Man. And while I say that though, I don't want them to, like I said, constantly milk her yags forever, right? But still, it's like, man, she's the heart of the anime. And it is a weird thing to say, right? But she is the heart, and arguably, bitch is the best girl ever in an anime. Because you have a lot of other animes where, yeah, you got this cute girl or whatever, but a lot of animes, right, with strong female characters, or at least cute female characters, they can work without this female character, right? Because this is like an action anime or whatever. But this anime, honestly, it doesn't work without bitch. Like, it doesn't work. She's the heart of the anime. Malty bitch, salty bitch. She is the heart of Shield Hero. And without her, I genuinely feel like I have almost no interest watching Shield Hero anymore. Even though I don't hate it. I think it's interesting. I do want to see book here doing and so on. But it just feels like a very, you know, whatever media isekai ever, right? Yeah, it's like, she was the character. She was the one that lied about getting sexual assault and so on. She was the one that pushed the, you know, and she was the controversy and everything. She was both the meta comedy of it, and she was the interesting heart and comedy and the part of the anime. Pretty curious for that as well, right? But that concludes it, yeah. No anime, no bitch, no anime. But I think it's true for other animes too, of course. But it's probably the most big example. That being said, though, of course there are animes, for example, have one here, Katarina Klaas. She's the main character in the school, so without her is no anime, right? You have other animes, like for example, My Dress Up Darling, like obviously she's the main character too, but Shikamori and so on. But you have other animes where you could easily remove one of the characters, right? Would it hurt the anime? Certainly a lot. But for example, I have Konosuba from here, right? Konosuba book 1 here, right? Yeah. What if you remove like darkness? I'm not saying that would be a good thing. My point is, you know, if you remove darkness, the anime still works, right? Or it obviously works because yes, it's one of the harem girls, right? But honestly, when it comes to Shield Hero, that's kind of what I mentioned in the beginning, kind of course, jokingly, but still, yeah, because you have Raphtalia, you have Filo, you have Rishia, and all the other waifus, you have her mom, you know, Milf Queen in the big, you have all waifus, right? But you can honestly remove any of the other waifus, and does it make the anime worse? Sure, but like, you know, you can remove Rishia, especially Rishia, like that doesn't matter, right? You could remove old lady, right? Which they completely omitted kind of explaining in the anime, but yeah, you could remove them. Doesn't make the anime better or worse, I mean, but again, they're not really the core of the storytelling, right? Raphtalia, of course, is important, Filo is important, of course, but the other harem waifus, you could just kind of remove them. It wouldn't really matter, right? It wouldn't really matter, but you can't remove bitch. That's kind of my main point, right? By removing bitch, you do remove the true heart of the anime. And without her, it's not the same anime anymore, right? She's not just one of those, the 11th harem character or whatever. And this is probably true for most, honestly, though. Like I said, right? You need the foil, yeah. And it's a weird thing, too, because the anime is just so faceless now. Book Hero finally appears, but it's like, yeah, what was that? Like, I don't know. It's been like, it's more than 10 episodes between her kicking out, basically, her kicking out and Book Hero. And it hasn't been interesting at all, right? Hopefully he can lift it up, but I think the last thing here, which I'm only right filler, but Book Hero, right, he has no personal connection to Nafoumi. Sure, he probably heard Ost-chan, you know, Kana's voice, and she's the tortoise or whatever, right, and he probably touched her boob or whatever, but it's like, yeah, he's a douchebag, but he has no personal connection to the actual main character, or none in the harem or whatever, or the party members, except one of them. So he's never gonna get to bitch level, you know, he's never gonna get up to that level. Unless he, I don't know, kills Raphtalia or something. And then maybe he kills Raphtalia, Filo, and the Milf Queen, and Rishia, and Ost. Then maybe he can get up there. But even if he does that, it's never gonna be the same thing, right? It's never gonna be the same thing. It's never gonna be the same thing because this is how Malty starts, right? She continues to say, "Oh, I'm a cute girl, wanna be my friend," you know? Yeah, because the thing is that Book Hero is his, how to say it? Malty is a Judas, right? The Judas betrayal is always the strongest. What I mean with that is that Book Hero certainly is a complete douche. He's walking against someone. But, you know, even if he kills Raphtalia or whatever, it's not the same thing as someone like, oh, let's be best friends, and then, oh, you touched me in the bedroom or something, you know, lying about that. Yeah, it's never gonna be the same thing, right? Malty was that perfect, you know, top 10 anime betrayals, right? Where Book Hero is not betraying anyone. He's just straight up douchebag. He's a straight up bad guy. So even if you heard Raphtalia or Milf Queen or whatever, right? He's not like, you know, betraying them. He's just like, hey, I'm a bad guy, right? I'm just the new bad guy, you know? I'm just an evil person. She pretends to be a good girl and then acts as evil. It's a huge difference, right? And the whole core of the anime, again, of course, is the start, right? She gets up here, party up with Nafoumi, and of course betrays him. That's the whole anime. His whole agenda is to get revenge on her, right? And again, then, as I said, revenge comes too early. And losing the best girl, the heart of the anime, just, I think, really pushed up season 2 of Shield Hero. And even, and I'll say it again, it's my last point again, though, I honestly think the ending of Shield Hero season 1 was boring too, right? No, it wasn't terrible, okay? I say it again, it's really emphasize it, but I don't hate it, right? But it's like, maybe it went from like a 9 or 10 anime to like a 5 or 6 something. And I iterate again, it's to be really annoying here, but yeah. The anime is pretty boring with that bitch. I'm sorry, but it is. Where's my goddamn best girl, okay? Am I the only one that likes Malty? But anyway, guys. Subscribe, press that like button. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Is Shield Hero sucks? Does it sucks now? Without no bitch, she's no anime, right? But I genuinely think so. Or actually, I think I've proven it now, right? Because she's the foil, and of course you can disagree with me, but come on. I think we all know that, yes, it's not the worst anime ever, but it definitely dropped massively in quality since Bitch was out of it. Right? It really dropped in quality, and also arguably though the last few episodes have been really bad pace as well. Though, so they have kind of generally not, I would argue for not good quality. But it's like, man, without the funniness of it, right? It's just gone. But I will say one last thing here. But please subscribe and so on. Please smash the button. But I said it again too. It also was a big mistake, right? Also immediately redeeming, as I mentioned earlier, spear heroes so once we had, right? So immediately, as I said again, it's gonna really be. I'm impressive, but I really want to hammer it down, right? You take Bitch out, you throw Bitch out, and immediately it's like, also for that matter, spear hero, he feels bad now. And those guys like, whatever, I guess he would write that for me. King, he's out too, yeah. That's what I meant earlier. The queen is like, bam, and everyone's like, bloop, and they're all gone, right? That was a massive mistake too. Yes, she's the 90% of the antagonist foil king is, again, Bitch, right? She's the 90% of the antagonism, whatever word it is. Yeah, she's 90% of it, right? But the other 10%, like her father and so on, they're also gone. So you're like, oh, you're left with nothing, right? You're left with like, what Sitchu guy appears about that. So yeah, you're left with like nothing, really, from a real antagonist standpoint. And that's terrible. So that's also an issue, right? Okay, you're removing the super big antagonist and also all the other ones too. Which definitely ruins, I mean, not ruins, maybe a harsh word, but I mean, definitely decreases the entertaining level of Shield Hero in total, for sure, I mean. That's a big mistake from a right standpoint, generally speaking. Because, yeah, sure, you can remove the bitch, you shouldn't, but you can remove the bitch, right? But you can keep the douchebag left, yeah. You shouldn't throw out the bitch and the douche, you should keep one of them at least, right? Or something like that. So, it was like clean house, like bam, 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 everyone is dead now, yeah, it was just too much. It was too much. And that definitely kind of ruined the anime. But anyway, guys, subscribe, plus that like button. And I'll see you guys with, I guess, maybe Shield Hero with book here. I keep gonna watch it, but I definitely feel like, I honestly feel like, why am I watching this anime for? It is so less entertaining than season 1 is. And it's because our beloved best girl is gone, right? Anyway, guys, subscribe, slap button, and I'll see you guys with some more anime, manga, and video game stuff. Maybe just leave it again, I don't know. I kind of want to replay the beginning of Lady D's. Big double D's, man. Big double D's.